Well, hello, I'm Heather Caillier from Ascend Consulting, and I have the privilege this morning of talking with the founder and executive director of Terebinth Refuge. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi Heather. It's good to be here with you today, virtually. And again, yes, my name is Cynthia Terlouw, but most people know me as Cece Terlouw.
Well, thank you for being with us today, and I'm so excited to talk with you and learn more about Terebinth Refuge and the important work that you're doing. So I know a little bit about you and working with Terebinth Refuge over the years, but I know that you have opened the home, which is a safe shelter and transitional housing program for women 18 and older who have been sexually exploited and trafficked. So you opened in 2018, and as far as I know, you are the only shelter in the area that's specifically designed for these women. And tell us a little bit about that, why women need a different shelter other than, traditional shelters.
Yeah. Well, you're correct, Heather, in that there is very little right now for adult women who've been sexually exploited and trafficked in the state of Minnesota. And we have done a great job with youth and younger, but again, there are a lot of women out there who have been trafficked since they were young people, teenagers oftentimes. And by the time they get to that adult age without any opportunity to get out of this life, they have just so many barriers and so many difficult situations for them to even think that they can get out. So we're talking about women who have been highly traumatized for year after year and having so many barriers that involve PTSD and mental health issues. By this time, they've lost schooling and any ability to be able to consider getting a job. They're homeless, so to be able to work, they don't even have an address to call their own. And so there are just so many barriers that come with this life. And to be able to bring healing to women who have been in this, we really have to be holistic and be able to address all of the issues. And how we frame that is body, mind, soul, and spirit. And so we recognize very clearly without really addressing all of those issues, the chances of a woman being able to get out and stay out are very small.
Thank you for sharing that. So it's very obvious that women need a whole variety of services to be able to get out of the life. And that's one of the things I really like about Terebinth Refuge is it's not just safe housing or safe shelter, but it's also comprehensive in that you offer an on-site RN, and you have mental health services, and you also do health and wellness programming and employment readiness, and so many other services that are just so critical for women to begin to heal. And you mentioned that just the barriers that women face, and I would imagine that now in the middle of this COVID crisis that those barriers might even be greater. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we know that with desperate times, traffickers are desperate. You know, they want to be able to have all of the money that they've been expecting. They are very controlling, and they can exploit the women with the circumstances of the COVID. So being able to take advantage of them. Women are afraid. They are afraid to reach out for help because there is just more control going on in their lives. And also, I believe, these women are probably being increased in having to do filming and pornography because we know that's on the rise right now. And, there's been situations I've heard of where women are threatened, you can't leave because I have the COVID or whatever, whether it's a lie or truth. And so there's really, during desperate times like this, these women are even more vulnerable to increased abuse and situations that are dangerous for
them. Just recently in the last few days, there was an article in the Star Tribune about the incidence of child online sexual exploitation and pornography just surging during quarantine. Can you talk a little bit about that, and also women who are being exploited who have children and just some of those risk factors for them?
Yes, we know that some of these major pornographic hubs that are promoting and pushing this material have actually offered the people to get it for free. And so they're increasing their base of patrons. And again, that means more trauma, more abuse for the women that are filmed in these pictures. And when we talk about women who have children, there are quite a few women in this life that do have their children. And it's really a generational situation in that these children are going to be abused and neglected and trafficked. And so it's a very sad situation, and that's why at Terebinth Refuge we want to be able to provide a place for a mother to get out of the life and have her child with her. I know these women struggle to leave because they're afraid that if they reach out, someone's going to take that child from them. And although they struggle to care about themselves, they really do care and love their child. And so it really puts them in a very difficult situation. They're afraid to lose their child, but also they want safety for that child as well. And again, in this life, these children are in a high risk of being abused, neglected, and trafficked as well.
Well, I know that that's on your heart, and that's been something that's very important to you. And the Terebinth Refuge has capacity for up to 10 beds, and you have specifically set aside a room for a woman with a child. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So, you know, is that typical? Do most shelters allow children, or is that?
Yeah, it's difficult for women to find safe places for themselves and their child. And so, no, that is not typical. I hear often about women wanting to be somewhere where they can have their children with them. And so, yes, this was an opportunity that we found we could do, and very happy to be able to provide that opportunity for a mother who has a young child to be able to really also learn the skills they need to really raise that child and to, promote a healthy home for that child.
Well, and it's so amazing too that it just kind of fulfills your mission, and just breaking that generational cycle of exploitation and helping the next generation, helping this generation and the next generation to know that they're made for more. Mm-hmm. So that's really awesome. So I want to close this up, but I know that you have a very important campaign happening right now, somewhat due to COVID, but it's called the Fill the Gap campaign. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. Yes, this is our Fill the Gap campaign, and as you hear in the name, we're really filling the gap that has come about due to this COVID virus. And so during this time, we've seen many of our fundraisers having to be put on the shelf. We have to increase our supplies to accommodate keeping the women in the home safe. We've also had to really look at, we have actually 2 staff that have had to shelter completely at home due to, health issues. And so we are really working to fill those gaps at the home, and that causes more increase in staffing costs. So, that really has caused a lessening of our operational budget, and by having this fundraiser, we're hoping to fill the gap and be able to increase that to the amount that we are needing. So we're really hoping that you could step in if you have the funds and be able to support us in this, so that we can really fill the gap that has been created during this difficult time in our country.
Wonderful. So how can people learn more about this campaign?
Yeah, you can go to our website, which is www.terebinthrefuge.org, and there will be a place there that you can learn a little more and also contribute there.
Wonderful. Well, Cece, thank you so much for taking time to talk with me today. And I will be praying for your campaign and for all of the staff and women at your safe home, and for you too.
Thank you. We really covet and appreciate all of the prayers, and thank you, Heather, for this opportunity.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.